Blog Talk Radio.
How's it going, folks? It's Ghost here, early in the morning. You know, not really much to do this morning. It is Valentine's Day morning. This is an impromptu. This is free format. I doubt anybody's out there. This is 4 in the morning out here where I'm at. But decided to go ahead and throw a little impromptu show here. It is Valentine's Day. And I know everybody out there is, they're either happy or depressed. I'm sure most of the people out here are pretty depressed because obviously we have single-parent families that are the social norm here in America. But the reason I have this little impromptu show here is because I wanted to talk a little bit about that. I wanted to talk a little bit about Valentine's Day. I also wanted to take this opportunity to possibly promote the American family. Everybody likes to get tired of hearing me talk about the American family, but for all you folks that listen to me loyally, and I really appreciate it, I love your patronage, and I thank you very much. Whether you're listening to me whether you're listening to me live or in the archive, I really appreciate it, folks. But we want to talk about Valentine's Day. You know, everybody's, like I said, is either elated or they're upset at the fact that they're reminiscing on some supposed love that devastated and crippled their hearts or whatnot. I mean, it's just a day, folks, you know. I mean, it's always good to have these little novelty holidays to try to pep your little life up, so to speak, you know. I mean, it's obviously just some holiday that's a novelty type of holiday. I mean, what is Valentine's Day anyway? I mean, it's probably a day supposedly to appreciate love and that sort of thing. But what is love nowadays in our modern day society? That's what I like to think about. You know, what is love at this point? You know what love is, folks? Love is basically, it's just basically people turning themselves into soulless cash whores. That's exactly what it is, folks. And that's exactly what this supposed little novelty holiday that we're having here, that's what it is. And it makes me sick, you know. I watch the television. You know, I watch the television about Valentine's Day, about, it's always some schmuck bag sitting here buying some spectacular necklace that probably cost him a couple of G's that he's putting on credit. For what, exactly? For what? Well, are you paying the female off so she won't run off with something that looks good in a leather jacket? I mean, this is exactly what American relationships have culminated to, folks. And all you folks that have kept up with the program, you know that I'm a big foot soldier for the American family. I mean, that's my whole purpose of being on the Blog Talk Radio Network here, is to probably stimulate some sort of appreciation for the American family. Because that's what I'm trying to say, folks, because the American family is becoming extinct. I mean, you have to understand that not only is it becoming extinct because of our own lack of social moral ethos, but it's also becoming extinct because we have a government that is perpetuating this activity. Now, like I said, we're celebrating Valentine's Day today. But what is love in the modern Western society? Love is monetary value. You see it in the advertisements. You are now seeing it in modern day society. And this is what I've suggested to everyone who listens to me. And, of course, I'm the big bad wolf of Blog Talk Radio. You know, I mean, you have Blog Talk Radio hosts out here dedicating whole shows to yours truly because they can't believe that I'm trying to somehow be a foot soldier for the American family. I mean, I'm a true conservative, folks. I believe in the American family, and like I've stated over and over again, the American family is what created this country. It's what built this country. It's what kept it together. It's what keeps people going. It's what keeps people going out, working 15 hours a day, 70 hours a week, put a roof over their family's head, clothes on their back, food on the table. But you see, now that we have the social ills, which are the social norms nowadays, the social ills is basically single-parent families, especially females out here. And all you folks that have listened to me, you know that I am an anti-feminist. Feminism has implemented the absolute pussification. And I've said this a million times, it has implemented the absolute pussification of America. I mean, you can take a good whiff of it if you go into a public school nowadays. I mean, you've got males now, especially at elementary school age, can't even go out and play dodgeball. Can't even play tag anymore. Because the feminists and liberals have infiltrated the apparatus, the government-funded apparatus of public education, and has basically anesthetized our children with not only political correctness, and remember, folks, the liberals, and I'm talking about ultra-liberals, and I'm talking about the liberals also that have infiltrated the Republican Party, folks. I'm no Republican anymore. I mean, you notice that I've taken the Republican out of my name. The liberals have hijacked the Republican Party also, but liberalism has also infiltrated and anesthetized our children into being, especially our males, all right, into emasculated fruit bowls. And I know most folks out here, and I see a couple of people in the chat room. What's going on? Thank you for tuning in with me. This is an impromptu show here. I usually do my shows, I usually do my shows every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night, 9 p.m. Central Time. But this is an impromptu show. That's the beautiful part about the Blog Talk Radio Network. You can just get on when you want, and I'm sure there's not that many folks on here this early in the morning. But, when you have an urge to say something, when you have a spontaneous synapse in the brain spark, and you want to go out there and you want to make sure that you put it down on the record. And that's what I'm doing. But back to feminism, I'm telling you, if you talk to the average male that graduates from high school, I mean, you know what, better yet, why don't you just turn on MTV? How about that? Turn on MTV and notice the very feminine physical attributes of the male rock stars and all that garbage. I mean, just take a look at just the absolute pussification of the American male right there in that instance. Anyway, my point is this, folks, okay? Feminism has turned the average American, and not only American, but the westernized female, into a subliminal prostitute. And that's just all there is to it. Anybody who tries to deny it, why don't you go take a look at pop culture? Take a look at Beyonce Knowles over here. Beyonce Knowles, I mean, if you listen to her lyrics, I mean, one of them says, you can pay my bills, you can pay all my bills, and then maybe we can chill. I mean, what kind of message is that sending? That, as a female, the only way that makes a man worthy is if they pay for you. And by that definition, folks, that's subliminal prostitution. And that's what the average, everyday American woman is nowadays. Now, I'm not saying all women, and you see, this is where these feminists, and I get hate mail on a consistent basis. On a consistent basis, I get hundreds of feminists, ultra-liberals, long-haired liberal bedwetting hippies. I get them all. Because I suggest this, that I'm just using the simple observation of life. All right? Simple observation of life. And I've got a person in here by the name of Jaded Man talking about 50 Cent. We've talked about 50 Cent prior, folks. 50 Cent is a tool being utilized by the liberal media, all right, for all the males that don't get emasculated with the propaganda of public education, which 50%, it's proven, folks, 50% of people that go into the public education system drop out or get kicked out. So you got 50% that don't really get indoctrinated with all this emasculated Richard Simmons underwear horse crap that's being taught here in public education. So what do? They push this ridiculous product called 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson, some Nimrod that never saw the streets. It's been proven. It's been proven that he's never seen the streets, never lived anything that he's rapped about. I mean, not that gives anybody any kind of credibility, but it goes into the notion of, well, why is this man saying that he's done this and he's shot this and he's dealt this? Why is he saying it? Well, he's trying to sell a product, folks, and it's the liberal media trying to sell this imagery to your children. And what's happening? Well, what happens when you sell a product as fake as this? Because it's a fake product. I mean, the whole argument of hip-hop was it was an outcry of the streets. But this man is a fake product. So what happens? You've got not only African Americans, which are the most suppressed people in America. Not only are they falling victim to this, but you've got Hispanic Americans, Latino Americans, Asian Americans, white Americans falling for this garbage. And what are they going out and doing? They're making supposed ghettos in suburban America. And if you don't believe me, why don't you go out and look at all these wannabes out here that are just perpetuating the image that they're being fed each day. And that's why 50 Cent, Jaded Man, since you posted it in the chat room here, it's just an absolute farce. He's a tool being utilized to subjugate those that can't get anesthetized with feminism or liberalism or pussification, however you want to look at it. I mean, that's how it is. I mean, just if you don't believe me, just take a look at the landscape around you, unless you've been anesthetized, unless you've been infiltrated by the liberal propaganda. And let me tell you something, folks. These liberals and these feminists, all these people are encapsulated in one group. These people are very crafty. I mean, they're ingenious when it comes to their propaganda. I mean, their propaganda is just unbelievable. And that's why I'm saying the liberal media owns the apparatuses that put out these entertainment figures. They're the ones that own it. Liberal Hollywood, you know the whole story about liberal Hollywood and all that garbage? I mean, they're feeding this to you, folks. They're feeding this to your children. And then you've got this influence. You've got violent, ridiculous, sadistic, sadomasochistic, psychopathic video games that they're sitting here getting into. I mean, you got these ridiculous games where you can carjack people and rape women and beat people's asses and all that garbage. And then you wonder why these children are messed up. I mean, that's all there is to it. And Jaded Man said, you were just saying that 50 Cent doesn't look sissy. Well, of course not. I mean, you have to appease all appetites of American feeling, if you will. I mean, like I said, those who graduate from public education, you can see the emasculation out of them. I mean, just look at the modern day, just anything. Look at modern day pop culture. Look at the styles. Look at the clothing. I mean, look at the clothing out here. Clothing like, Abercrombie Fruit Bowl and Hollister, whatever it is. I mean, just fruity-ass clothes. And look, I don't mind that, there's going to be a couple of Fruit Loops out here that are, look like they just, popped out of Richard Simmons' ass crack or something. I mean, look, I understand there's going to be fruity guys out here, but it's becoming a social norm, folks. It's becoming a social norm out here. And nobody's even talking about it. They're just embracing it. Why are these males becoming so emasculated? And at the same time, why are the feminists out here, and we're talking about Valentine's Day, this is a Valentine's Day special, why are the females dominating these jagoffs? I mean, I remember Christmas shopping not too long ago and seeing these idiots in the middle of the mall out here holding their wife's purse. I mean, it's just ridiculous. What's going on here? Are roles being reversed? I just don't understand that. I just don't understand, and what's unfortunate is that we're seeing this in America, and this is what's ruining America, and this is what's ruining the American family, folks. I had a Iraq war veteran, and I tell the story 1,000 times because it really hurt my heart, to be honest with you. I had an Iraqi war veteran call into my show some time back, and he got disabled out there. He broke his hip out there, serving his country, broke his hip, came back, and he was already married. Folks, let's get this straight. He was already married when he went to war, served his country, came back injured, unfortunately got wounded in combat. Came back with a broken hip. He couldn't, broken hip's a pretty serious injury, folks. I mean, he was, pretty not very mobile for a while. I mean, you would have thought that, you know, you would see some compassion, right, from this wife of his. I mean, you know, that's what's supposed to be. I mean, the sanctity of marriage was built on for better or for worse, for sickness and health, and, I mean, sacrifice. That's what the family's about. But what happened? What happened to this poor man? What happened? His wife left him because she couldn't take it. And you see, this goes back to the feminist movement again. You see, it's the feminist movement that has made these bimbos think that they can just, you know, go and, you know, oh, well, I'm just not comfortable in this marriage, so I'm just going to hop in and out of marriage like I'm hopping in and out of dirty, shitty underwear. You know, and that's why you have a prevalence out here of divorces, like, you know, 5 or 6 divorces. It's just the social norm. I remember a day when you were shunned. I mean, you were looked down upon if you had a divorce, if you had a child out of wedlock. Now it's embraced. You know, we just got through tax season, and I'm saying this again. I've said it in my past shows. We just got through a tax season, and if there's a woman out there, which is, believe me, there's many of them, that have shitted out about 5 or 6 kids from 5 or 6 different fathers, those women got rewarded $1,500 to $2,000 a kid. I mean, that's what they just got from the government, your government, my government, our tax-paying dollars. So she can just be, you know, make herself think that it's a financial incentive to go ahead and pop out another one out of the oven over there. And this is what comes back to what I've been talking about over and over again. We've got to save the American family, folks. You know, Valentine's Day, it's great. I mean, if you have a loved one, you know, you shouldn't have to pay her off, okay? You shouldn't have to buy her diamonds all the time, okay? I understand, you know, it's always good to get your wife or your significant other something appreciative. I mean, you know, you can't make things habitual. You see, you know, you buy the woman one ring. You know, all of a sudden in this new day and age, she expects a bigger ring, and then, you know, it becomes into a bracelet. I mean, you know, this monetary garbage. I mean, look, folks, and I'm talking to the females out here. If you're listening, whether you're listening to me live or in the archive, you need to understand that instead of worrying about getting a dumbass diamond, okay, instead of worrying about getting shiny objects that you're just going to put on your body for display, why don't you worry about the man, you know, getting something sentimental, you know, something that means from the heart, you know, whatever happened to romance, whatever happened to love and that sort of thing, you know, a poem or some, you know, song or, you know, serenade, you know, something. Now, nope. Got all these dumbass jewelers out here shoving these diamonds down our throat every time they go to a break from one of these ridiculous shows that we're all force-fed. It's ridiculous. You got Jaded Man here in the chat room saying he's going to take his wife to McDonald's. Well, you know, just as long as you appreciate each other, you know, that's all it comes down to. You have a decent conversation. I mean, that's what these novelty little holidays are supposed to be about anyway. It's supposed to be about, you know, taking the time to love one another and that sort of thing, and saying, well, you know, I appreciate you. You know, I mean, Valentine's Day it's become a monetary joke. I mean, look at all the ridiculous jewelry commercials that were shoved down my hole here. I mean, seriously. I wanted to say hi to Ozone, who just came into the room. How you doing there, Ozone? It's just a Valentine's Day impromptu show, folks. I mean, like I've stated, I usually broadcast every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night, 9 p.m. Central Time. But this is a Valentine's Day special. And we have to realize that Valentine's Day is pretty much moot when you have the extinction of the American family. And you have, you know, the subliminal prostitution of most females in America. I mean, do you see the ridiculous garbage that's on television that's being force-fed via commercial ads? They're making most males out here looking like jerk-offs because they're not out there buying their woman diamonds. Okay, and I'll agree. Jaded Man said so. His Christmas. Hey, I believe it. Believe me, Christmas is just as guilty. But at the same time, I mean, it is a universal holiday, so to speak. I mean, it is something special. Now, do I feel that everyone should go out and get a Lexus and 5-carat diamonds? No. I think that we've lost the meanings of these holidays here. You know, the bottom line is, the bottom line is that we all have to appreciate these days that, hey, we're here as family. You know, Christmas was never about adults, and these adults that expect all these gifts for Christmas, you're a bunch of soulless cash whores. Okay, it's for the children. Okay, it's for the children, folks. I mean, that's why I wake up every Christmas Day. I make sure all my family comes from wherever. I got a big home. Make sure they're all here. Grandkids, kids, the whole 9 yards. And what happens? You wake up early one morning at Christmas Eve, and you see the children just appreciating a day of giving, you know, a day of sacred, you know, family gathering and love and affection. You know, not, you know, hey, you know, here you go. I'm going to go ahead and buy you something bigger than I bought you last year. Yeah, it's ridiculous, folks. I mean, like I said, folks, I just want to save the American family. I mean, I'm a true conservative. But I think to me, more and more, it seems like I keep talking about the family issue because I really care, okay? I really care. Because I'm living the family life here. I love it. Everybody who's my wife loves it. My kids love it. I mean, this is what it's about, folks. I mean, everybody's out there, you know, doing all this ridiculous garbage, putting themselves in debt, you know, going out there buying $500,000 homes when they know they can't pay it, going out here getting a $70,000 car when they know they can't pay it. I mean, putting all kinds of credit lines and all that garbage and putting yourself to the grind when it comes to a monthly payment and that sort of thing. What for? I mean, if you weren't so self-centered, if you weren't so selfish, and if you got married and you had a partner, and I'm not talking, look, folks, there's a lot of people that are now getting married, and this is why I think, and of course me and a lot of Republicans out here disagree with me, but we need to do something about this divorce thing. Because it's just so common to get divorces out here. That's what's ruining the sanctity of marriage. I mean, that's what's ruining it. And you see, people are just going into marriage just casually, just, oh, yeah, well, you know what, I know you about 2 weeks. Let's go ahead and get married. I mean, you know, Las Vegas, you know, should be ashamed of itself. Not because of all the gambling and all that sin that's going on down there, but the way they treat marriage down there. I mean, they got freaking drive-through marriage chapels. I mean, what kind of ridiculous nonsense is this? This is what I'm talking about, folks. We cannot continue on down this road. We need to instill the sanctity of marriage. We need to reshape the minds of not only females but males too. I mean, because the males, and I'm not speaking of the emasculated males. I mean, males in general. You know, like I said, I'm an employer. I employ a lot of younger gentlemen that are up and coming, up in life, and they're hard workers, and they're single. And what do they do? What do they spend their money on? They're spending their money on, you know, $10,000 watches and, you know, $2,000, $3,000 suits. I mean, really expensive items, folks. And is it to appease their own materialistic appetite? No. It's to attract a woman. That's what they're doing. I mean, this is what, it's just horrible, folks. I mean, we need to understand that if you're going to meet a mate, okay, both on the women and the man side, you got to appreciate everything about this person. You got to know this person inside and out. You got to know what they feel like, well, even in their most darkest hour, how they would react to the most critical of adversity. I mean, you've got to know everything about that other person and understand that you're willing to live no matter what, that you emotionally. Just know for a fact that no matter what happens, outside of maybe extramarital stuff, that no matter what happens, you're going to be with this person for as long as they both shall live. I mean, you have to know that. And you see, unfortunately, you've got people out here that don't give two rats' asses about that anymore. And we go back to Valentine's Day. It all comes down to females in the feminist movement. I'm not saying all females. You know, I hate to be general, and I want to rebut because I get a lot of feminist hate mail. I'm not talking about all females, but, you know, a certain section, like females are defined by their majority, and the majority in this country are all subliminal prostitutes, okay, the majority. I've come across many of conservative females, and I'm going to read some conservative female letters actually this weekend about conservative mothers that just take care of their children, that try to shield their children from all the wickedness that is the world. You know, they do what they have to do to send their kids to schools that are going to basically not have the social arenas to influence their children with bad behavior or drugs or sexual promiscuousness, anything of that nature. I mean, because that's what we have to do, folks. Okay? I mean, when it comes to the family, we got to shield our children out here. But what do you have families doing now? I mean, first of all, the American family is almost extinct, but you know, typically they're dumping their kids off in front of a boob tube, video games, you know, little you know, Game Boys, whatever it is. They just dump them off on a piece of technology, and that's the babysitter. And then they wonder why our children are going out shooting each other, are becoming sexual deviants, becoming freaked out here. I mean, did you hear about those ridiculous Nimrodic buffoonery kids out there in, I think it was San Francisco, somewhere in California? These idiots were throwing rocks at a tiger, thought it was real kicks about it, and then the damn tiger leaped over the 15-foot gate or whatever the hell it was and mauled them all almost to death. It's ridiculous. Then you wonder why our children are doing dumbass idiot crap like that. It's just no coincidence. Absolutely no coincidence whatsoever. And Jaded Man, he's making a comment about, you know, public school is wrong. Well, it is wrong. It's wrong because it's government funded, first of all. And who would want to be prone to be paid by the government? Well, liberals and feminists. I mean, this is all derived from communism. They're living their dream, folks. That's why they're all the people that are infiltrated the administration, the teachers, the school boards. They're all liberals because they want to live this state government-funded life. You know, I get a lot of emails, you know, from teachers that say, "Oh, well, I'm not a liberal, you know, and I'm a teacher." Well, that's great, but you're teaching a liberal agenda, you idiot. Okay, and if you're a teacher in a public school, get your ass out of there and go to a private one, go to a charter one or something. I mean, don't be sitting there pushing the agenda of emasculating not only the male but everybody. You know, it's just the political correctness that's in schools. It's a farce. I mean, you can't play tag, you can't play dodgeball anymore. You can't play dodgeball? Are you kidding me? That was one of the funnest times of my life when you played dodgeball. I mean, sure, you took a beam to the head. Who gives a rat's ass? I mean, you can't play dodgeball. You can't play tag anymore in school. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. The liberals and the feminists have infiltrated the public education because they're living their dream. These liberals want to be funded by the government. That's the whole agenda of liberalism. I mean, you already hear these liberals on the left talking about universal health care. They're going to garnish it from your wages whether you like it or not. That's just, yeah, I mean, it's bad enough that these idiots in the government are educating our children to be a bunch of fruity asses out here, and that's what I want them to do, is to figure out what's wrong with my health. Yeah, right. Like they're going to have my health in their best interest. I wouldn't be surprised if they injected me with some ridiculous garbage to test something. I mean, you don't want the government in your health, folks. I mean, it's the last place you want it. It's the last place you want it. And you're right, a jaded man, he said about, you know, they teach gay and bisexual as an alternative lifestyle. I mean, not only that, folks. I mean, I live here in Texas. I had a school district over here allow a homosexual couple to go and attend a dance out here. And they were kissing and doing the whole night, and they allowed this garbage. As a matter of fact, it wasn't even a high school. It was a middle school. A damn middle school. Are you kidding me? It was a middle school, folks, and they allowed a homosexual middle school couple. Like these kids even know what the hell homosexuality is. Like they even have the cognitive reasoning to understand what the hell they're doing. But the school, because they're liberal, they don't want to put prayer in school, but hey, let's go ahead and let a couple of homosexual middle schoolers go ahead and infect the rest of the herd out there. How about that? There you go. There you go. Folks, I'm telling you, this is a Valentine's Day special, folks. It's just an impromptu show, and I'm just suggesting to everyone that Valentine's Day, in this day and age, in this day of modern society, it's a farce. It's a farce because, like I've stated it, and I'm going to continue to state it, and I don't care what anybody says about it, the feminist movement has turned the modern woman into a subliminal prostitute, okay? And if you don't believe me, go ahead and take a look at the pop culture, take a look at the media, okay? Take a look at the commercials that have been happening out here. I mean, you know, you've got the commercials making every man in America look like an absolute jerk-ass if they don't buy their woman some 3 or 4 carat diamond shiny object. It's ridiculous. And if you look at the pop culture, you look at Beyonce Knowles saying, you know, in her songs, well, you better pay my bills, and then maybe we can chill. You better pay my bills. It's ridiculous. And this is what we have here, folks, is the social norm in society. Single-parent families are the norm in society. People having about 5 or 6, 7 different divorces are the norm in society because we have ruined the sanctity of marriage with all these divorces. We've ruined it. Anyway, folks, if you'd like to chime in with me and discuss anything with me, by all means, give me a call. 646-652-4869 is the number to call. This is just an impromptu show. It's a Valentine's Day special. We're just talking about Valentine's Day and how it's just an absolute ridiculous novelty holiday. It's a novelty holiday that has basically turned most women, not all women, like I stated, I get many conservative women that usually listen to me on my regular scheduled time every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 9 p.m. Central Time. You know, I get a lot of conservative folks that listen to me on a faithful basis, and I appreciate their patronage because those are true conservatives, and they believe in the American family. But nowadays, folks, the majority is single-parent families. And just take a look at the media. I mean, if you don't believe me, take a look at what your children are watching. I'm talking about your smaller children. Take a look at the sweet life of Zach and Cody, and then come back to me and tell me that, oh, well, the liberal media is not embracing single-parent families. I mean, the sweet life of Zach and Cody is about 2 twin boys that live with their mother in a hotel because she's a lounge act singer. And this is what we're anesthetizing our young children with, folks. And now, folks, and I've stated this previous, we have the liberals that have infiltrated the Republican Party. I mean, John McCain is a damn liberal. I don't care what anybody says about it, and I'm not going to vote for him. He's 2 issues away from being a complete, absolute, ridiculous Karl Marx worshiping liberal. Seriously. Okay? The first issue, and I don't believe him, first of all, but he says he's pro-life. I don't believe him. I think he's an absolute lying piece of trash. But I'll continue on. And then he is supposedly, a maverick. You know, he wants to go out and kick ass, take names in the international community and all that nonsense. Okay, that's great. But then again, he wants to implement more regulation on America, okay? He wants to implement more regulation. He wants to put more bureaucracy. McCain-Feingold is an absolute unconstitutional bill, and, of course, that's more government regulation and private business where government has no business in being. I mean, he wants to give amnesty to all the illegal immigrants in this country that are devaluing the cost of labor. And then we wonder why folks are having a hard time finding jobs out here. Well, it's kind of hard to compete with jobs when not only are they being shipped out to China and all these ridiculous third world countries that are paying their people 15 cents an hour, but you have to deal with the illegal immigrants that are out here doing American jobs at maybe a quarter or at the most 50% of the price. I mean, bottom line. You know, Jaded man, look, I'm acknowledging the man, he's a war hero, okay? I mean, great. But the man has a problem when it comes to regulating. He's going against the Republican principles. I mean, he could have been a war hero as a Democrat because that's most of the bills that he's passed. What, McCain-Feingold being one of the most liberal pieces of trash that embraces gay marriage, on the other side of the aisle. Then you got McCain-Lieberman. Lieberman was the idiot that ran as a vice president. I just can't believe it. Vice presidential candidate in 2000, man. McCain Kennedy? I mean, come on, Ted Kennedy? I mean, if that doesn't say liberal on it, I don't know what the hell does. It's a damn liberal. And every one of those bills that he has his name on it is just government shoved down our throats. This is a man that wanted government to regulate boxing, for Christ's sake. I mean, yeah. Anyway, regardless, I'm just not voting for the man because the man's a liberal. Liberals have just hijacked the Republican Party, and I'm no longer a Republican for that matter. I mean, if they're just going to embrace this crap, I mean, I'm a lifelong Republican. I mean, I've lived a long time on this world. If they're just going to sit over here and piss me away like yesterday's garbage or something, well, I mean, that's fine. I mean, I remember when the conservative principles were the root foundation of the Republican Party. Now, I don't know what the hell the Republican Party's about. It's only about blind loyalty. It's about blind loyalty. That's what it is, and that's why I'm ashamed, about what's happening here. I don't know what our country's where our country's headed. Either one of these candidates, whether it's Obama, Hillary Rotten Clinton, John McCain, any one of these people that are elected are going to implement so much government on us. I wouldn't be surprised if we aren't going to turn into a socialist, kind of quasi-communist country here within the next 4 years from all the government regulation, from all the government bureaucracy that's going to arise from all these candidates. I don't know. I mean, I'm very scared for America, and I'm really shocked that Americans aren't as concerned about this as I am. I mean, we don't need government in our faces anymore, folks. But it seems to me that everybody just wants it. I mean, they're submitting to liberalism. They're submitting to the doctrine of Karl Marx here. I mean, and then, and look, I always thought Bush was a great president, but this stimulus package is just not something that's leaving a good taste in my mouth. I mean, this stimulus package is just a very clear step into quasi-socialist communism. The government's giving you money, so what? What are you going to do with that money? You're either going to give it back to the banks that you owe debt to because you decided to live off the high hog, or you're going to give it back to China, which is being, the stimulus package, $150 billion or whatever it is, it's actually being borrowed from China, and we're going to give it back to them and buying their damn goods at Walmart. I'm very concerned, folks, and I'm really surprised, Republicans, which most of the time Republicans are very intelligent folks. I mean, these are people that think critically. These are people that look to the Constitution. These are people that look to the benefits of the American people. I mean, they believe in the Republican values. They're just being completely oblivious to what's going on here. They could care less. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I just don't understand what's going on here. That's why I'm just not going to vote for the presidency. I mean, I just hope there's enough people that hear this broadcast and other folks that think like me. I hope that they can go out there and just vote for conservative folks on the congressional level, on the Senate level. Because that's the only way we're going to be able to counterbalance all the liberalism that's going to come out of the presidency, folks. And what I mean by liberalism, I'm not talking about, because as conservatives, of course, we're pro-life and we're for the American family, that sort of thing. But I'm talking about government-wise. I mean, all these people are for more bureaucracy, government in our faces. I mean, don't you understand, folks? We're just going to get more government. I mean, why are the Republicans blindly supporting this crap? I mean, I understand why the Democrats are voting for Obama and Clinton, because they're anesthetized with propaganda. And, you know, I mean, you have Obama, who's probably going to be the candidate, and I'm going to have to eat my words, because I thought Hillary Clinton had it hands down once they turned Barack Obama into the ghetto candidate. But, you know, there's still a race, and I'm not counting Clinton out just yet. I'm not counting Clinton out just yet, but, I mean, let me tell you, Barack Obama is going to win the nomination on one word: change. And what concerns me is you've got a whole populace of people that are basically bowing down to Barack Hussein Obama, and they don't even know what the hell his platform is. I mean, they don't even know what I don't even know what his platform is on garbage. And he has had more FaceTime than anyone else that I've ever seen. And all I keep hearing him tout is change, 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 and I just don't understand what he's doing. I'm really concerned. I mean, he is a very liberal candidate. I mean, I'd be very concerned, folks, that we'll just get more government bureaucracy. I wouldn't be surprised if stimulus packages turn into. I wouldn't be surprised if they turned into regular, everyday things, man. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we had quarterly stimulus packages or whatever they'll label it at that time. Government giving us our money. I mean, that's socialism, folks, and we're headed down it. Anybody who wants to turn a blind eye to it, anybody who says, oh, I'm just going to go ahead and vote for John McCain because I'm a Republican first and foremost, hey, you contribute to what's going to happen to this country, because I am not. I mean, because we are just going to get pure bureaucracy. Pure bureaucracy. And Jaded Man said I should send money to Hillary's camp for Valentine's Day. Are you kidding me? Hillary rotten Clinton. Hey, that's one thing we don't need. You know, I mean, I'm glad Obama's beating her ass because, you know, I don't really like Hillary rotten. I don't like Bill Clinton. I think Bill Clinton ruined this country. All right, in my view, he just completely ruined this country. And on top of which, he turned the Oval Office into the Oral Office and completely just redefined sexual relations. And that's why, I mean, after he redefined oral sex as being like messing around, you have to wonder why our children are out being sexual deviants, you know, going out and doing all this ridiculous, promiscuous garbage. And I don't want that back in the White House. You think I want that back in the White House? You don't think that, you know, Clinton's going to be like, hey, you know, this is what I got right here. Oh, look, there's a fat, portly intern over there. Okay, come over here, baby. Oh, I'm not the president anymore. I mean, are you kidding me? That's the last thing I want. But either way, it doesn't matter who you vote for. It's the same crap, different plate. And McCain's no different, folks. I'm telling you, he's just too. I mean, the reason I hate him is because he's going to implement. He's going to implement liberalism. Okay, as far as our domestic government is concerned, he's going to implement all kinds of government bureaucracy. He's going to eliminate, you know, the Republican values. I wouldn't be surprised if he instills a lot of regulation because he is a hostile fella. And he's going to put all kinds of regulation on all kinds of garbage, and yet he's going to continue to perpetuate the war on terror. He's talking about going into Pakistan and Syria and Iran. I mean, this guy's talking about he's a maverick and wants to go into all these places to implement democracy, and yet this man is going to he's going to cripple our democracy with his governance. I mean, he's going to put more bureaucracy. I mean, you just listen to his rhetoric. He admits it. I mean, at CPAC, he didn't even want to get technical when it comes to the border situation. I mean, all he's doing is saying, you know, the first thing I want to do is secure our borders. Well, that's great, secure the borders, but there's 20 million illegal immigrants that are in this country illegally that have devalued the cost of labor. I mean, good, hard-working jobs like bricklaying and that sort of thing used to pay well. I mean, a lot people used to, feed their families on that and have a good living. Well, the pay wages for labor of that nature has gone down so much that, I mean, you're outbid by illegals. You're outbid by illegals. Very unfortunate. I don't know, folks. I'm just kind of upset. There's so many ills. There's so many bad things about society right now. I mean, I'm pretty. There's a guy named Jaded Man in here. I'm pretty jaded myself. Yeah, I really am. I'm pretty jaded. As a matter of fact, I gotta stand up. I gotta stand up and just walk around a little bit. Maybe lay down on this couch right here. Let me go ahead and do that. Just pretend like I'm talking to a shrink. I'm talking to a damn psychologist or something. I just can't stand the fact that you have a whole populace of people in America that could give two rats' asses. That America's not only going down the tubes morally, but they're just going down the tubes politically, socially. I mean, the whole 9 yards. And nobody's talking about it. All these BTR hosts on here, all they want to talk about is these ridiculous, primaries. And, hey, look, Huckabee, Mike Huckleberry is in the leader. Who cares? It's the same crap, different plate. I mean, it's all there is to it, man. Let's talk about some real issues and maybe change some minds before all this regulation that's implemented in our lives takes place. Maybe we can change a few minds out here. Maybe we could still implement some of these Republican principles that the Republicans used to be about. Man, when I take those deep sighs like that, when I'm laying back, just looking at the ceiling, not only am I jaded, I'm drained, man. I'm drained because I'm angry. I can't even walk outside my house anymore. Go out to some sort of social arena or a mall or shopping center, anything of that nature, without seeing the absolute filth of society become the social norm. It's walking around out here every day. Every damn day. And, of course, nobody's talking about it because it's just as long as everything's okay. I really don't know what people are living for anymore. I mean, you got to think, let's say these women out here, because women have most of the children. They keep them. I mean, even if they're with a husband and go out and cheat on him with the milkman, she'll still take the kids. I mean, that's ridiculous, but that just goes to show you how the feminists have feminized our justice system. I mean, a woman can literally, a man can come home and realize that his wife is a $2 slut prostitute, okay? And divorce her for it, and she can still get the children, folks. I kid you not, there's been cases where this has happened. She's a prostitute, and she still gets the children because, at least she was trying to feed her family. She was out there working hard. Working hard? What I'm saying, folks, is, it's just a jaded situation that I'm in here, Very draining, it's upsetting, it's disappointing. And every time I try to talk more and more about it, nobody cares, and nobody even wants to talk about it. Let me get up before I start throwing garbage around the room and that sort of thing. Start going crazy or something of that nature. Anyway, folks, you can give me a call if you'd like. 646-652-4869 is the number to call. I don't know, man. I just don't know what's going on. I mean, if you happen to be listening to me, I'd appreciate if you could give me some insight on some of your experiences observing life in America. Maybe I'm seeing something skewed or something, I mean, some of these liberals try to call in and just try to explain to me that, this is just a social evolution, Ghost. It's just social evolution. That's all it is. You just have to deal with it. Human are evolving. Evolving? What, evolving away from the American family? Ugh. It's just ridiculous. You know, they're not going to evolve away from the American family. The family is the foundation of society. It's the foundation of life. You know, the first humans, what did they do? You know, they gathered and went out and hunted and took care of their families. It's the family that spawned innovation. It's the family that made the tribes, the first tribes, who had monogamous relationships with women and had children and understood that they needed a mate. You know, they needed somebody that to live for, man. And it's the family that made the Indians innovative to sharpen arrowheads and to figure out how to fish and figure out how to make fire. And the whole nine, man. And you're going to say that it's evolving? We're evolving? What, evolving into what? We're going to turn into a planet where, you know, it's just okay to just go ahead and just have children. You know, I can't find a young man nowadays who doesn't have at least two or three children from two or three different women that are milking them, you know, for child support. And the only reason I know that they're milking them for child support is because I'm paying them. I employ some of these poor bastards, man. I mean, here they are, you know, that they get knocked, you know, they knock some couple of broads up, and the reason they're knocking these broads up is because, you know, most men are suckers, you know. No matter what the feminists try to tell you about men, oh, they're snakes, they're lizards, they're pigs. To be honest with you, a man just wants a good woman, man. That's all a man really wants. And, you know, I talk to these young gentlemen that I employ, and I ask them, why'd you have children so young, man? And why did you have children from multiple different partners? And why? Well, I thought I was going to be with her, man. I thought I was going to be with her for a while. I was hoping it was forever. Well, what made you think it was forever? I don't know. You don't know? Ugh. Stupid, man. It's just sad. It's what it is. It makes me want to puke up here, man. Got myself, not an alcoholic beverage this morning. I got myself, one of them little stupid energy drinks. Yeah. And I drink it because, it does give you a little energy. And now it doesn't taste like, Kentucky Fried Chicken piss anymore. Now, they've given some flavors to it and that sort of thing, so it's a little bit more tastier now. So, it's not a bad drink. You get to savor the flavor, and at the same time, it peps you up a little bit, as a matter of fact, did you know that the first soft drinks, and I don't want to say names, but something that sounds like Coke and then Pep something. Anyway, those two drinks actually had cocaine in it. Okay, why do you think Coke is called Coke and Pepsi? Why would they call it Pepsi? Well, if you drink it, it gives you a little pep. That's why, man. Now we're in a new day and age where I really shouldn't be drinking this garbage, but who cares? Who cares? Not only that, I got to work most of the day anyway, folks. I do employ folks. I got to take care of a lot of responsibilities. I hardly sleep. I maybe sleep, if I'm lucky, maybe 4 hours a night, if I'm lucky. But hey, you gotta love life, I'll sleep when I'm dead. I want to go out and experience life. I have responsibilities financially, family-wise. I want to take care of them, I want to take care of everybody. I love my family, man. Do anything for them. I'd give my life for them. I'd do anything. Everybody who emails me tries to say, oh, your wife is probably in a cage, Ghost, you sexist pig. I can't believe they actually say that, And my wife, she reads all the emails I get, and she thinks it's absolutely hilarious. But I mean, to be honest with you, no, I don't keep my wife in a cage. As a matter of fact, I love my wife. I mean, I wouldn't know what I'd do without her. You know, I tell her I love her every single day of my life. I've done my responsibilities as a man, taking care of her, taking care of my children, and she's appreciated. I appreciate her. We appreciate each other, and that's why we've been together for so damn long. I mean, I wouldn't want to be with anybody else. And that's the way it should be, damn it. Now, you got a, young man that wants to get married. It's an honest man out here making an honest living, working his ass off out here. Finds a woman, impregnates her, because most of these women want to get pregnant. I mean, according to a lot of these younger gentlemen that I employ here, I always, I like my employees, man. I like them to keep them happy. We always go out to dinner, take them out to a nice steakhouse, or have a few drinks with them, or whatever the case might be, and we talk about these things, man. And they talk about just how these women are just. I mean, they're just taking them for rides, man. I'm so glad that I was, raised in, before all this feminist garbage took forth, man, because I feel sorry for some of these males out here. All they want to do is find a decent female and take care of her and raise a family. That's all any of these males want. That's not what these females want, folks. At least the modern females nowadays. They don't want that. As a matter of fact, I don't know if they know what the hell they want. Because I've heard of many a men, I attend my chambers of commerce out here, and I know a lot of business owners, and, they go through the same garbage too. They get some, hot tamale whore bag or, some fine piece of tail or something. And, they think that they're the greatest thing on earth. They show them off like a trophy. Here you got a 50-year-old prostate-infected businessman over here, shoveling around this 25-year-old, hot piece of tail over here. And they themselves, doing the same damn thing, being used for money and that sort of thing, man. And I tell these gentlemen, look, I mean, you should know that young girl wants to have nothing to do with you. She doesn't think that you're appealing. First of all, she's, ditzier than a goddamn, blonde-headed slut bag straight out of West Texas area. And I'm from Texas, by the way. I'm not dissing Texas. I'm actually from Texas. I'm in Texas currently. But, won't you go for somebody that appreciates you, not for the money you make, you idiot, but why don't you be with somebody that appreciates you for the man you are? I mean, and whoever the hell you are. You see, a lot of people don't even know who the hell they are. All they know is that they wake up every morning, they got to go to work, they got to come home, and occasionally they got to go out for some leisure activity, but they don't even know who the hell they are. When they look at themselves in the mirror, there's just a blank. It's just, I'm just existing. They don't know who they are. And that's what I suggest to most folks. You look in the mirror, man. Who are you? What are you? I mean, are you some object that's some kind of cash machine that's supposed to pay for your significant other's affection? I mean, no. If you're a man that has subjected yourself to that, get out of it. All right? I mean, come back to reality, man. You're a human being. I mean, start analyzing yourself. What do you like? What's your interest? I mean, what makes you special as a person, man? I mean, you're a human being. Don't let these females out here, especially younger generations, don't let these females out here turn you into some ridiculous cash machine. And you females, too, don't turn into a whore. Don't turn into a subliminal prostitute. I mean, and look, I'm gonna acknowledge females that there's a lot of slimeball males out there, and I'm not talking for those pieces of trash. I mean, all these wannabe gigolo and wannabe, hey, look at me, look at how many vaginas I can put my penis in. Those guys are jerk asses. Okay, and I don't speak for those pieces of trash. And as a matter of fact, they deserve a good ass beating. Okay, and I'm sure most of you women, because most of the women that get messed over or screwed over by males, they probably got screwed over by a male they know they shouldn't have been with, damn it. And you females can't take one or two bad experiences from males that you know you shouldn't have been with. I mean, if you were to listen to your instincts instead of your damn emotion, which, you know, most of you don't, you wouldn't be experiencing all that pain and anguish and be apprehensive when going out and trying to look for somebody that has some sort of insight, intellectual potential, something. No, but you want to find out how much they're worth. You know, you notice how, well, I don't know, I mean, this is what they tell me. You know, my employees tell me that every time they go up to a female, you know, they have to give the whole rap. You know, they got to throw a stupid line at them or something. And what's the first thing they ask them? What's the first thing the females ask them? What do you do? What do you do? I mean, what difference does it make what I do or what this young man does? Who gives a crap? Why don't you talk about it? Hey, you know, what do you like? I mean, why are you here? What brings you here? You know, I mean, you like this kind of music, or you like, what are you drinking? You like that drink? Do you drink a lot? I mean, oh man. I'm telling you, it's just sad, man. It just, I don't understand where this society's going, man. We're going to have more regulation from our stupid liberal government. We're going to have more social ills become the social norm. You know, and don't let these females that are out here with 5 or 6 kids from 5 or 6 different fathers pull on your heartstrings, folks, because they're not hurting, okay? Because not only are they getting child support from every father that, you know, they were impregnated by, but you also have this tax system that's giving them $2,000 every year for a kid. You also have the fact that they can just go in and get every government subsidy in the book, from welfare to government cheese to you know, subsidized housing, the whole 9 yards. Exactly, and they get their babysitting paid for. You know the amount of money people are making off of subsidized daycare out here? Let me tell you something, folks. If you're hurting for money, go out there and get registered in your state and become a damn daycare, because you're going to make gang loads of cash, okay? I'm not joking. You know, believe me, don't let morons be babysitters out here nowadays. Go get registered with your state, use your home, and just stay home and watch a bunch of brats, okay? Because there's people that are dumping them off, and the government will pay you for it. And if you don't want to get paid by the government because you think that's kind of commie, well, go out there and just get registered and go out there and take care of people's kids, man. I mean, you know, down here in Texas, you know, the average daycare out here, if you keep them, I think, from the traditional hours of 8 to 5 or something of that nature, you got to pay $150 a week per kid. $150 a week, man. That's serious money. That is serious money, but I don't think the government gives you that much. But I'm just suggesting that if you're in the private sector, I mean, it's a serious cash. So I suggest to all of you out there, you know, if you really want to get into it, male or female, believe me, there are so many kids being shitted out here. You will find yourself overwhelmed with the amount of children that you're going to be dumped off on. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Anyway, just thought I'd give you a little advice out there if you're struggling. I know there's a lot of people struggling, but go out there and become a child care provider. I guarantee you'll make some serious money. You can't abuse the children, of course. You know, don't be an abuser of children. You know, try to help these children to some extent if you happen to choose that line of work in this hard day of economy. But at the same time, I mean, that's where it is, folks. I mean, when we have children, you know, just being brought into this world without, you know, thinking twice about it. You know, over a night of drinking, you know, that's what's, I mean, you just imagine that most children are probably, most children are accidents, you know. I mean, how do you feel as a child knowing that your mom and your dad, the only reason that you're here is because your mom and your dad met up at some, you know, hump bar somewhere. You know, she took him home because he looked good in a leather jacket and he got impregnated, or she impregnated her, or he impregnated her, excuse me. And you got to wonder, walk around in life thinking about, hey, man, I was conceived when, in the damn back seat of a car, or, the alley behind a dumpster. I mean, whatever the hell it might be. I just couldn't imagine, folks. I really couldn't imagine. And I want to thank all of you for listening to me so early in the morning. It's pretty late. I just went to sleep kind of early last evening. Had myself a great T-bone steak. Let me tell you something. I love steak. I'm in Texas, and we get the best beef in the world, because the best beef in the world is in Texas. Let me tell you that. And I just love having steaks, sirloin steak, T-bone steak. Woo! It's good stuff. But it made me kind of drowsy because all the blood rushed from my head down to my stomach. And, of course, every time you eat a bunch, that's what happens. And you get a little groggy and you fall asleep. And here I am talking to you good people because I like the Blog Talk Radio Network, folks. I like the fact that you can just have impromptu shows like this. And whether there's a whole bunch of people listening to you or just a few people listening to you, it's going to be the archive. It's going to be on the record. People can go back and listen to it, It's great. It's just a great format. I like BTR. I don't like the fact that, we're having a lot of problems with the technical aspects of it all, but, hey, it's free. Who gives two rats' asses, It's great. Anyway, folks, you can call in to me, 646-652-4869, if you happen to be listening to me early this morning. Special Valentine's Day edition, just random thoughts going off the head out here. I did discuss about how Valentine's Day is just a ridiculous novelty holiday nowadays. I think that most couples should not buy the big shiny objects this day and maybe do something a little bit more creative, maybe say, a free verse poem to your loved one, or make something, create something, go to that arts and crafts stores, make something, even if it looks ridiculous, even if it looks stupid, just give it to your significant other, and I'm telling you, it'll mean a lot more than going out and buying some ridiculous garbage that you're probably going to put on credit anyway, and, it's stupid, folks. It is absolutely stupid what's Valentine's Day's become, and what's happened to society. I want to bring back the American family, folks. I just really do. It's something I'm really passionate about. Because it's becoming extinct. If people don't have a family anymore, what do they have to work for? And this just helps bring in the whole liberalism and socialism that we're about to turn into. It only helps that because most people that are single-parent families, why work? You don't have a family to work for, and the government's going to give it to you anyway, so why even bother? And this is what's upsetting me, folks, is that I think we're headed down this direction. Jaded Man said in the chat room here his wife is going to help him put up a ham radio antenna today. That's pretty funny, man. Ham radio, the only reason it's funny is because ham radio, you're talking old school stuff, I used to do that a long time ago, a little ham radio broadcast. It was for fun, man. Running into all kinds of people. But anyway, it's just a Valentine's Day edition, and I just wanted to say that all of you people that are out here buying all kinds of ridiculous, overpriced widgets and think that that's going to somehow show your love to the person that is your significant other, you're a damn idiot, okay? You're a neurotic buffoonery. You are basically just trying to pay her for her loyalty. That's what you're doing. And at the same time, you are, you're setting yourself up for a standard, okay? You buy 1 carat this year. Next year she's going to want 1.5 carats. Next year it's going to be, it's going to be a car. This is the whole purpose of this garbage. That's not what love is, man. That's not what relationships are. Relationships are about each other, and enjoying good times. And I mean, that's what life's about, is perpetuating good times, making the best out of everything. Not being selfish and, because one's hurt or sick or, is having a problem or whatever the case might be. I mean, you got to help them, man. I mean, you can't just leave. Like that one poor fella that came back from Iraq, an Iraq war soldier, broke his hip, tried to come back to his wife. He was immobile for a while, and the wife couldn't take it, man. Couldn't take it. I mean, your damn husband fought for your country, you stupid broad. And she left him because he had a damn broken hip. What a piece of trash, you know that? What a piece of trash whore bag. And let me tell you, if I could see that broad right now, I would just tell her right in her face, and I'd get a finger right in that disgusting mug of hers, Then I'd say, you stupid broad. Here you got a man who is not only brave enough to marry a selfish, self-centered piece of ridiculous garbage like you, but he went out there and fought for your country, for your freedom. And what do you do when you marry this man before he went to war? What do you do when he comes back and needs your help the most? You leave him. You leave him because, I just can't handle this. I just can't do it. I don't want to do it. That's because you are a self-centered piece of feminist trash. And I hope whoever ends up having your used-up uterus ass, I hope they end up breaking your heart into little bitty pieces and then take a pee on them. Because that's what you deserve. And that's what I would tell that ditzy broad. That's exactly what I would tell her. And that's what I tell any broad or anybody, let's put it that way, who's going to leave their family because of selfish reasons. I mean, give me a break, okay? Now, if your significant other cheats on you or something, well then, maybe that's a different story, But because you're just tired of having to deal with a man who has a broken hip from war, I mean, you piece of, Oh, geez, you just don't even know, I'm telling you. You just don't even know. Anyway, folks, I appreciate y'all listening to me this morning. You're more than welcome to call. I know there's, scarce people this morning. I just decided to do an impromptu show, and before I get started with my day this morning, 646-652-4869 is the number to call. We can go ahead and talk about anything you want. Just it's the kind of show that's just impromptu. It's usually a political show. We're always talking about all kinds of subject matters. The name of the show used to be called True Conservative Republican Radio, but since the Republicans have basically wiped their dirty asses with the Republican principles, well, I don't really want to be a part of that. So they can go ahead and be liberals all they want to in the Republican Party. I'm not going to do it, and I'm trying to save the American family, even though that's the last thing on the Republican agenda, saving the American family. I just will never forgive the Republican Party for this, with all due respect. And that's why in BTR out here, and the Blog Talk Radio Network, which we're broadcasting from, that's why if you go and patronize any of the other political shows that are out here, they're talking about yours truly over here. And I'm not talking about left-wingers because, I can handle left-wing, long-haired liberal hippies, but I'm talking about Republicans that are out here broadcasting, dedicating complete broadcasts to yours truly here and trying to spread slanderous lies about me and personal attacks about me, saying I'm not a true conservative. I'm not a true conservative because I don't want to, blindly support a liberal. I mean, I'm a man of principle, and I thought the Republicans were people of principles, They're not. They're absolutely not. It's just sad, man. I mean, I just don't understand what's going on with the Republican Party. I don't understand what's going on with this country. Anyway, I'm just take another sip of this energy drink here. You know, usually on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 9 p.m. Central Time, which I usually broadcast, I'm usually screaming my head off. You know, usually screaming up a storm, sound like I'm about to have a damn coronary, and that's only because I'm passionate about what I talk about. You know, I really am passionate about what I'm talking about here, folks. I mean what I say what I mean. I mean, I'm not one of these idiots that are going to talk out both sides of their mouth. I mean, I really believe in what I say. And I am not going to turn a blind eye to the fact that we've got liberalism that has infected the Republican Party like a damn, you know, bad case of herpes or something, and it just doesn't seem to want to go away. You know, I mean, no matter what you do to it, I mean, it just doesn't want to go away. And I'm not, you know, somebody in the chat room said Democrats are screwed up too. Look, I've been talking about that all my life. I know the Democrats are screwed up. Those people are communists, all of them out there. I mean, just look at the methods of agitation that they use against each other. I mean, let alone in campaigns and whatnot. I mean, this is just sad what these damn Democrats are doing. I mean, they make no qualms, and they make it no secret that they want more government. I mean, this handout health care garbage that they're trying to shove down our throats, I mean, they're going to garnish it from your wages, folks. I mean, and wages are going down because of this illegal immigration problem. So you got to take that into consideration. You got to take into consideration inflation in general. And then you're going to expect them to take not only the Medicaid and Social Security, now you're going to take a handout health care tax out of that, and what's that going to leave you with? What exactly is that going to leave you? It ain't going to leave you with nothing. And once again, maybe because it leaves you with nothing, maybe we have to, or the government, I should say, has to propose another stimulus package. And folks, that's socialism, man. That's exactly where we're headed. Either way we look at it, doesn't matter. McCain, Obama, Hillary Rodham, it doesn't matter. It's going to be the same thing. It may be a little different version, but we're headed down socialism, folks, and we just can't continue doing that. We got to stick to conservative principles. We got to save the American family out here. All right, I mean, the damn American family is becoming extinct. We need to save the damn American family. Okay? I mean, if you happen to see a single woman out there on the street, you know, pushing a stroller, got two other kids tagging along with her, and she looks around 20-something, I mean, scold her. Give her a goddamn scowl in her damn mug, and make sure that it's very apparent that you just do not care for the fact that she's a single mother with all these kids, knowing that she's not financially responsible for them, that she's probably getting some sort of a government subsidy, that she's probably getting child support and free child care and subsidized housing, government cheese, the whole nine, and she's going to get $2,000 at the end of every year. You know, at the end of every year, $2,000 a kid. Yeah, that's great, isn't it, folks? This is the new America that we're heading in here. This is the new America. More government. Government's going to be so much in our faces, you just can't imagine. And I don't care who the candidate is that's president. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, I'm not voting for any of these people. I'm not going to participate in the transition of power from democracy to socialism. I'm not going to do it. If you can live with that in your conscience, well, go ahead, man. Go ahead while we still have the right to do so. Anyway, it's very early in the morning, Valentine's Day morning. I'm sure a lot of people are getting up, finding shiny objects next to their faces. And I'm sure there's a lot of lonely people out there that it just only reinforces the fact that they're lonely. And maybe the reason they're lonely is because they take the relationship and marriage so damn casual. And then they wonder why they're lonely, because they're selfish pricks. That's why. They're out there worried about themselves. They could care less about making commitments, because that's what relationships are about. That's what marriages are about, commitments. I mean, if you're going to get married, you make a commitment, you stick to that commitment, all right? And if the person cheats on you, well, then that's a different story, okay? That's a damn different story. And Jaded Man asks if third parties will ever make the White House. I don't think so, man. I mean, you've got so many people out here that are idiots. I mean, the majority of the American people are morons, okay? And I hate to say that. I love America, okay? But we've been so safe from any type of legitimate terror or war. We've been so safe, and everybody's been able to do whatever the hell they wanted to do for so long that they have dumbed themselves down with, shoving cheeseburgers down their gullet like a damn garbage disposal, beer guzzling on a consistent basis, going out and consuming on ridiculous goods that are absolutely meaningless and they're just a waste of money. I mean, you got all this crap going on, and that's why these people are absolute buffooneries. I mean, most people are not very bright, folks. And if you don't believe me, go into any social arena. Hell, go to the corner store. Go anywhere and ask people questions. Just be friendly. You don't have to be condescending. If you're condescending, you might get a smack to the mouth. But, just try to ask a few questions and say, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And just listen to the amount of ignorance that exudes out of these people's holes. It's just disgusting. I mean, nobody has any type of mental foresight anymore. As a matter of fact, everybody's just out there walking around half dead, for Christ's sake. Walking around half dead. And they're walking around half dead because you got commercials out here, every other commercial. It's some stupid, ridiculous jeweler, trying to make guys out there that are probably watching TV with their significant other look like a bunch of jagoffs because, hey, look at this guy in the commercial, even though he's not real and he's a paid actor. Look at this guy. Look, he got his wife a car, a new car. Come on down. I mean, give me a break, folks. Give me a damn break. Impromptu shows, I'm telling you. It's a Valentine's Day special. Luckily, I have a great wife, I don't want to tell everybody what I got her for Valentine's Day because I haven't given it to her yet, so I'm just going to go ahead and give it to her at just the right time and make it as romantic as possible because I care about her. I want to make sure that I fulfill that emotional need that, in that mate type of correspondence and that sort of thing. But when I look out in the world, it's not the way it is, folks. You got a whole bunch of people sticking Kentucky Fried Chicken grease thumb up their colon holes, and thinking that, their self-centered ways is the thing to be. Hey, look at me, I can leave my husband because he's got a broken hip from the war. Yay! Hey, look at me, I'm going to leave my wife because I got myself a 25-year-old bimbo with big knockers that I'm paying her rent, her car, and all the bills for. Yay! It's ridiculous, folks. And this is what life's turned into here. We need to get back to some social moral ethos, and that's what I've been saying. That's what I've been suggesting all along. I mean, I remember a time, and this was not government enforced. It was just an essence of social moral ethos. If you had yourself a child out of wedlock, you would be shunned. I mean, you had females that had children out of wedlock that had to pretend that their child was their brother or their sister because they were so ashamed of having a child out of wedlock because, I mean, that was just shunned. Now it's the damn social norm, folks. It's the goddamn social norm. And nobody even gives two rat's asses about it. I mean, every time I try to approach a Republican with this topic, they don't care. I mean, they don't care. All they suggest is that, oh, well, if society's going that way, I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. Nothing we can do about it. They're not going that way naturally. This is not some sort of form of social evolution. This is the influence of public education, which is government funded and has been infiltrated by liberals and feminists. This is the liberal media infecting our children with all this ridiculous garbage. All right, I mean, this is what it's about. This is our government embracing women having about 5 or 6 kids from 5 or 6 different fathers with incentives and subsidies and tax breaks and all this garbage. All this garbage. Oh, man, it's just a damn shame, man. I mean, I literally want to throw stuff in here. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit more about, since we're, this is a political show, talk a little bit about that ridiculous piece of trash, Roger Clemens. I don't know if you saw him yesterday. This piece of trash was in front of a congressional hearing here about his use of steroids. And this jerk-ass had the audacity to sit here and deny the whole thing, even though he went against the whole concept of aging. I mean, typically when you start your career in any sport, you're always at your prime you're a rookie, and then maybe like 4 or 5 years go by, and then you're at your prime after about 4 or 5, 6 years. You're at your prime, and then you just go down from there. I mean, there's no going up the sport. There's no, you don't just get better. You get worse after your prime peaks. And it seemed like old Roger Clemens, the pitcher, he's a pitcher, by the way. I think he's of the New York Yankees at this point, but he's been a well-renowned pitcher that has broken all kinds of records. All right? And miraculously, if you happen to collect baseball cards, if you look at his rookie card and compare it to what he looks like now and see the dramatic transformation in this man's body, you got to ask yourself, how the hell did he do that? And I'll tell you how he did it. He shot his ass up with all those ridiculous steroids that shrink your nutsack. And that's how he was able to continue to get better. That's how he was able, as he got older, to continue to get better, to get bigger, to get stronger. Yeah. And you know what? Jaded Man said that sports are a waste of time and money. I have to agree with that now because the sanctity of sports has been ruined. I mean, you look at baseball, all these idiots, getting shot up the ass with steroids, and I mean, baseball. Do you really need steroids in baseball? I mean, I personally, if you're a baseball fan, I'm sorry, but I don't think baseball's a sport. I mean, anything I can play is not a damn sport. Okay, I can go out and get about 15 jerk asses. Okay, and I do this occasionally. You always have these stupid leagues calling up my business. Hey, why don't you join the league? You and your workers, we can go out. And sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. I go out there and play baseball. I mean, give me a break, okay? But then you've got basketball, and I don't know if you know this about 6, 7 months ago, damn basketball referee helped orchestrate games so that he could win some of his gambling debts or recoup his gambling debts from mafiosos that he owed money to. I mean, this is a referee. I always knew that these damn basketball games were orchestrated, but, I mean, it just comes to light that it always, I mean, this idiot had a lot to do with that, and that destroys the integrity of that game. Then you look at football. I mean, I don't know if you folks have read the recent headlines about football, but Arlen Specter talked with the league's chairman or the commissioner, the NFL commissioner, about Bill Belichick and the Patriots doing that undercover videotaping of opponents' teams' practices. Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but the old Belichick from the Patriots, remember the Patriots got beat, and they're supposed to be the dynasty team and all that. Well, it comes to find out this Belichick had been filming practices ever since the first Super Bowl winning. And Arlen Specter is thinking about, I don't think it's right, but he's thinking about having a congressional hearing about football. And that means he's going to call Bill Belichick up and say, hey, did you or did you not go out and tape your opponents? And that's how you were that's how you knew all the defensive schemes before you even hiked the damn ball. And he's going to have to say it under oath, and if he lies, he's going to go to jail, just like Roger Clemens may go to jail for it. And Jaded Man is talking about NASCAR being a sport. Look, I'm from Texas, and I know a lot of Southerners love NASCAR. And believe me, I mean, it's ridiculous. But I think NASCAR is ridiculous. I'm sorry to say it, folks. If you're from the South and you like NASCAR, hey, it's your right. I mean, there's idiots that like that ridiculous curling. I don't know if you're familiar with curling. They literally roll a stone on a like an ice skating rink. Okay, they roll a stone down there, and you've got two idiots sweeping with sweepers in front of the damn thing so it can go faster or some crap. I mean, that's the equivalent of NASCAR right there. All right, it's always the same 5 rednecks that win anyway. I mean, who gives a crap about NASCAR? I don't want to comment about NASCAR. I just think it's ridiculous. I mean, to be honest with you, I have more respect for those drag racers. They put those damn rocket engines in the back, and whoever wins wins. Or street racing. I don't believe there should be racing in city streets, but they have speedways out here in Texas where these nimrotic buffooneries that can barely put Pampers on their kids' asses, but they have enough money to buy these ridiculous Hemi engines and Flowmasters and all this crap to go out there and prove that they're the big bad man of racing in a stupid racetrack that's paying them absolutely nothing to do it. But I would consider that more of a sport than NASCAR. And speaking of NASCAR, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's something wrong with them. I mean, like I said, it's the same 5 rednecks that, win the damn thing all the time. It gets a little boring. I mean, how is that a damn sport, racing a car? I just don't understand that. Oh, you might get killed. Well, yeah, you're in a car going 220 miles an hour, you idiot. I mean, yeah, you might get killed. I don't know. I don't know, but that's the sports world. I mean, the sports world has just been completely degraded. So, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, what does America have to look forward to? I mean, we really don't have much anymore. We're coming to find out that we're all corrupt, blanketed, closeted socialists. That are going to need to get used to more regulation and more government bureaucracy. I mean, this is what we've come to know. And it's ridiculous. And Jaded Man's asking if Jeff Gordon's a role model. No, Jeff Gordon's a piece of trash. All right, I mean, he's a piece of trash. Because here you got this idiot. I think he recently got divorced. And I understand if you're an average, everyday male, okay, in this day and age, and you have a divorce. I don't blame you, okay, because it's kind of hard for males to find a female that's actually going to stay loyal to the vows that they take on that during that marriage. But when you've got somebody like this idiot, okay, which is some big celebrity, so he should have his pickings on, who his mate, his soulmate would be. And if he's going to go out of lust and pick some, some stripper-looking bimbo because he's physically attracted to her, well, then he gets whatever he deserves, okay? Because, he completely just let lust take over, and instead of actually trying to find a female that actually gives 2 rat's asses about him, that cares about his well-being, that isn't selfish, that is willing to sacrifice. I mean, that's what it's all about, man. Not some dumb bimbo that's just going to be with you because, hey, look at me, I'm with Jeff Gordon over here, who's going to use you as a trophy when you think you're using her as a trophy. She's using you as a trophy. You moron. That's what I'm saying, man. I go to the Chambers of Commerce meetings out here where I'm at, and you get all these business owners, and sometimes Chambers of Commerce, they They put on some great luncheons, some great hotels, and that sort of thing. And afterwards, everybody's all mingling with each other, and you see friends, you see people that you've been acquainted with out there at the Chamber of Commerce, and then you talk about their personal lives. And I'm telling you, a lot of these damn businessmen, they're out here with these 20, 21-year-old bimbos, and these guys are 45 plus. And they wonder why they can only keep these supposed females as long as they can pay their way. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm making more of it than I should, but I just want to save the American family, folks. I'm a foot soldier for the American family, and I'm just trying to relay to you observations. That's what these are. It's just observations. You can look out in the street yourself and find a whole bunch of observations of the obvious. And the obvious is you got the social norms, the social ills become the social norms. And it seems to me like we're either going to have to accept it, or I don't know the other option. Because we're in a pretty bad position. Very, very bad position. Man, I don't know. I just don't know, folks. I just don't know. Maybe I'm just too jaded. Oh, man. Anyway, folks, you can go ahead and get back to me. We got about 20 minutes left in the show here, and I wanted to thank everybody who just tuned in with me early this morning that are, this is, like I said, an impromptu show. I mean, usually I'm screaming about something I'm really serious about. This is a Valentine's Day show, and I'm just going off the head with some free verse stuff that's just, concerning me, just random thoughts, that sort of thing. Because, I don't know, just it's the beautiful part about Blog Talk Radio. You can go up here and do that. 646-652-4869 is the number to call. Got about 20 minutes left. And let me take a little bit. Oh, shoot. Hold on just one second. Drop something here. Let me go ahead and take a drink of this little energy drinker. Like I said, energy drinks used to really, taste like cat piss. And now, they've added some flavor to them a little bit, and they're actually pretty palatable. They're not bad nowadays. Problem is that if you take too many of them, you'll crash like hell. And that's exactly what happened to me yesterday. After I ate that T-bone steak, I crashed like a damn, like a damn drunk driver, going right into the damn guardrail after zigzagging a few times. I mean, I just crashed. That's the way it is. Anyway, folks, like I stated, I just want to save the American family. And if I could just encourage all of you folks to try to perpetuate that, saving the American family is not a bad thing, no matter what these liberals try to tell you. These liberals will try to tell you, oh, well, we're just evolving. We're socially evolving. It's a woman's world. Get used to it. That sort of thing. I mean, I don't think we're evolving. I just think that what comes down to is that we have so many influences that reject what used to be the norm. Now you've got people obliging themselves to this. I mean, media, artists from music artists to people that are, in the movies and that sort of thing. I mean, just look at Britney Spears, for Christ's sake. And believe it or not, there's actually idiot broads that are looking at Britney Spears and saying, oh, well, she's a free woman. Oh, she's just doing what she wants to do. I mean, she's shaving her melon. She's out here, hooking up with paparazzi, some idiot that, likes to put so much gel in his hair and he likes to make it stick up about 2.5 feet. She's out here trying to disown her parents. I mean, it's just ridiculous, man. She has 2 kids that she could give 2 rat's asses about. She barricades herself in her home, and causes all kinds of commotion. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. what I'm talking about. And I don't think there's anything that we're going to be able to do to change it unless we start really talking at a grassroots level, folks. And that's why I appeal to everybody who, believes in the American family to talk about it. Talk about that it's a great commitment. It's a sacred commitment, I don't know, folks. I don't know. Let me just drink another drink of this energy drink. I may be crashing here now. One thing that really concerns me, since we're talking about products and that sort of thing, China. China's very concerning to me. I really don't appreciate the fact that we're embracing China on an economic level and on a diplomatic level. First of all, China is utilizing communism, which was once the United States' arch enemy. But they're utilizing communism to extort labor out of their own people, okay, for like 15 cents an hour, whatever these people are getting paid. On top of which, they are just the most ruthless bastards on the face of the planet. They have this one-child policy. And if you have more than one child, they'll abort it out of you or kill it at birth. And then give you fines for it. And if you have a girl, well, they'll kill a girl at birth out there in China. And the Chinese have made it on purpose, they've made 4 men to every 1 woman in China. Yeah. 4 men to every 1 woman in China. And China released a press release, what was it, about 9 months ago, maybe a year ago, about Chinese women being liberated. And they talked, I don't know what these people were saying. They were subtitling it. They could have said anything, but, on the subtitles it said, a Chinese woman is the most independent woman out here. And now people aren't getting married in China because women realize that they don't really have to get married because they're in charge. There's more of them than men. And what's going to happen to the men? What's going to happen to the men? Well, they're going to get pissed off because they can't get a woman, and they're going to want to join the army. They're going to want to join the army and release some of that pent-up frustration. That's what's going to happen. And this is China, folks, and we're about to celebrate Olympic Games out there, which I also think is ridiculous. I also wanted you to look this up if you don't believe me. China has been given more commendations and credit for their human rights in the UN. You know that, right? United Nations has commended China more for their human rights than any other country in the United Nations. Why is that? That's why I think that the United Nations is moot at this point. The whole purpose of getting into the United Nations was to perpetuate peace, via institutionalist, global type of apparatus of that nature, but it's done jack crap. It's done nothing. On the contrary, I think it's made things worse. So I don't understand why we're still even in the United Nations. We fund the damn thing. If we just cut funding to it, they would collapse. I don't know. Anyway, random thoughts off the head. This is a Valentine's Day special. Very early on Valentine's Day morning. And all you folks that are out there that are sitting there lonely without a Valentine's Day, well, get a blow-up doll or something. And for all you people that are, giving a Valentine's Day gift to someone you care about, well, make sure it's something sentimental. You know, make sure that it means something from your heart. I mean, that's why I suggest to everybody, just make something. You know, I mean, even if it's ridiculous looking, you know, even if it doesn't look very artistic, just go out there and make something, you know, be creative. I'm telling you, the amount of effort that you take to create something for a female, it's that much better than actually buying them. Well, unless she's like some soulless cash whore, like I've suggested previous, but, you know, most females dig, you know, gentlemen that are, I don't know. I don't even want to get into it. I'm going off the wazoo here. It's just random thoughts. There's 11 minutes left, folks. It's the Valentine's Day special. I'm just upset at the fact that the American family is being decimated. Social ills are becoming the social norms, and I want more people to talk about it. That's why I'm doing this show, folks, and I'm appealing to all of you. Talk about it. Talk about it with your children. Talk about it with your partner, and say, look, if we're together, if we're married, I don't want you to go out and be selfish, okay? I won't be selfish. You won't be selfish. Okay, let's take care of each other. Let's take care of the unit. Let's take care of the family. Let's make sure to perpetuate a better life for our kids. Let's make sure our kids are more smarter than we are. Let's make sure of this. That's all I'm suggesting. That's why I come up here all the time. I mean, instill some integrity, some true conservative value, some family values into the next generation. We should embrace children that embrace the true conservative principles. We should give them admiration and attention. You know, we shouldn't give attention if they're out here, you know, thinking that they're straight out of Compton or something. We shouldn't. You know, you got this politically correctness now that, you know, you got these parents that are forced to just oblige into their kids' supposed experimental voyages into culture and fashion and all this garbage. That's why you got these poor people out here, you know, and I've come across many of them, believe me. You got these families out here that are, you know, raising their kid, and somehow they're into this gothic crap. I don't know if you're familiar with that. You know, they dye their hair black. They give themselves all kinds of weird piercings. They, you know, put white makeup on their face. The whole 9 yards is gothic stuff. But we got to shield our children from this. I suggest that if your children are participating in gothic or being down with 50 Cent or being fruitier than a box of Fruit Loops with all these damn fruity-ass bands that are out here, well, I suggest that you need to do something, okay, and be a parent, for Christ's sake, all right? Don't just sit over there and tickle your anal passage. Go out there and be a damn parent, okay? Do something. Shield your children. Don't just sit there and let it happen. Don't just sit there and embrace it. It is your job to perpetuate not only a better life for the next generation, but a better mentality. All right, you're supposed to give them advice, knowledge, and wisdom so they can learn from your mistakes, not create new mistakes, not perpetuate mistakes that you've gone through. So do something. I'm telling you, do something, folks. Anyway, we've got about 8 minutes left here in the program. I wanted to thank everyone who's tuned in with me out here. I know it's very, very early in the morning, Valentine's Day special. I wanted to say that you can get back to me and listen to my archive shows. I mean, we have laughs all the time. We have people call in. You know, I like to get crazy. Sometimes I scream because I'm very passionate about what I believe in. I mean what I say what I mean, and I hope that whenever you have time and you're bored or you're just up on the internet looking for something to do, I strongly suggest to go to blogtalkradio.com/ghost. That's GHOST. Go out there and listen to all the archive shows. It's funny. We've had fun times, fun memories. A lot of things have been said and a lot of things have been done during this time. And I strongly advise everybody who, you know, wants to be entertained, have a good laugh, or listen to some serious debate, listen in the archive and that sort of thing. At the same time, I just barely got into this MySpace little garbage here, and I'm still trying to get used to it, folks. I mean, it is kind of weird. I remember when I was on the internet at a very, very, like the old AOL days when AOL was charging by the hour. I remember when you had to actually know hypertext markup language to build your website. Now you got MySpace giving you some ridiculous like template to make yourself a little profile, whatever. But anyway, you can get back to me at my MySpace and add me as a friend if you could, if you happen to have a MySpace. My MySpace address is www.myspace.com/ghostpolitics. That's all one word, no underscores or anything of that nature. And get back to me there. And I also have a blog out here. If you happen to be curious about it and want to read about it, I haven't blogged anything in a little bit, but I plan on blogging something tomorrow after, or I should say, about Friday. Yeah, tomorrow afternoon sounds good. And you can get back to that at Conservative Ghost. All one word, no underscores, conservativeghost.blogspot.com. And I think that's all the addresses I have to throw at you there. But I'd really appreciate it if you'd visit either one or just listen to me in the archive, And if you like something, if you hear something that makes you laugh, if you hear something that makes you cringe, if you hate it, like it, share it out there with somebody. Email it to somebody. You have the little share option. Go ahead and share it, and that sort of thing. Anyway, folks, I'm going to go ahead and probably end the show. There's 5 minutes left. I'm probably going to end it rather early because I'm going to have to go ahead and get started with my day and that sort of thing. And I hope that you get started with your day. I really appreciate all of you listening in. Like I said, get back to the webpage at blogtalkradio.com/ghost. It has my email on there and all kinds of links for links pertaining to my show and that sort of thing. And the typical time for all my shows are Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 9 p.m. Central Time. This is just an impromptu show because the Blog Talk Radio Network allows you to just go ahead and if you want to go ahead and throw a show, go ahead and throw a show. And that's the beautiful part about it. Anyway, folks, thank you for tuning in with me on another edition of True Conservative Radio. Hopefully, if you're listening to me, whether it's live or in the archive, I thank you for your patronage. Please come back and see me and listen to all of our shows, and we appreciate it. Anyway, folks, thank you very much. Happy Valentine's Day to all you folks that are out there that really appreciate your partner, that really appreciate your mate, that understand that love is more than, shiny objects or, fashion garbage or the amount of monetary value that one puts in a gift into you. I appreciate all you people that understand that love is about sweet, genuine affection, unconditional love. I mean, being able to be with somebody for better or for worse, for sicknesses and health. I mean, that's what it's about, folks. Okay? Don't believe all this garbage that's being spewed off on the commercials out here that are making all the guys look like a jag-off if they don't go out and splurge on a damn 5-carat diamond ring. Don't fall for that crap. Go out and make your mate something. Make your girl something. Do something that's from the heart, something that you really mean, all right? Dig deep into yourself and say, what do I want her to know about me, or something. If you can't think of anything creative to come out to give to her, well, then maybe you don't love the broad, okay? And vice versa. Maybe you don't love the man. Anyway, folks, thank you very much for listening in. We're 2 minutes left. I'm just going to go ahead and end this show right now. Get back to me. You know the addresses. Thank you very much. God bless America. Long live the conservative movement, and death to feminism. Thank you very much.
Do you like light turkey sandwiches? Then you'll love the new premium carb turkey and bacon sub at Subway restaurants. It's oven roasted just right, sliced thick just the way you like it. And just when you think it can't get any better, look out. It's got crispy bacon in there too. Order one today on your choice of freshly baked bread. Then select any veggies you want to make your premium carb turkey and bacon sub uniquely yours. It's a great sub for people who really like turkey. Subway, fresh is what we do.